As Ukraine prepares for Russia's spring offensive, there are escalating worries about the risk of a nuclear accident. Why? Well, Europe's largest power plant, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant located in southern Ukraine, is occupied by the Russians but operated by Ukrainians. And the fighting in and around it, well, it keeps intensifying, bringing the risk of a disaster with it. The UN's nuclear watchdog is trying to negotiate protections around the plant and issuing increasingly desperate warnings about a worst-case scenario. Rafael Mariano Grossi is the Director General of the UN's International Atomic Energy Agency, and he's leading those negotiations. Hello, Director General. Good to meet you and good to have you on our program today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you today.
I appreciate you making the time. This past visit of yours to the plant was the second time that you've done so. And I wondered if you could share with Canadians this morning your assessment of what things are like there right now.
Well, before the visit, actually my seventh visit to Ukraine and the second, like as you rightly said, to Zaporizhzhia. Before going there, I was referring several times to the increasingly unstable situation, given the fact that, as you know, this plant is right on the front line of the war, in an active combat zone. So unlike in September, where, of course, there was a war, but military action was not as prevalent as it is today. So I indicated my preoccupation, my concern that, of course, commensurate with the increase in military activity, the probability, the possibility of nuclear accident at the plant would also grow. So this is why I felt it was time for me to return, to assess the situation with my own eyes. And I was able to confirm that there is urgency in establishing a protection measure, a protection system.
And so what is the likelihood from your perspective of that happening? And I ask because, of course, you're one of the few people in the world who is in conversations with both Ukraine and Russia. Do you think that it is possible?
Of course it is. And no one is denying that on both sides. They are both, when they talk to me, they are both referring to more military action in the region. And we saw already several times that the plant was attacked. We saw 6 times that this huge nuclear facility was cut off from outside power supply, thereby working on emergency generators to cool them down, situation which would be completely unthinkable in Canada, for example, where you have many nuclear reactors. So something that is telling us, that is obviously showing us that we need to act, that we need to react. And this is why I continue with these efforts. And by the way, apart from my visiting the plant, I started my visit in Zaporizhzhia city, not the plant, with an important meeting with President Zelensky.
And so what are your conversations like, or what can you share with us today about your conversations with the other party, with Russia, and your assessment of their willingness to engage in discussions about blunting the risk that you articulate there?
They are engaged with me. They have engaged with me. We'll see whether we can get to results. This is the essential objective that I have. But I will be in Russia in the next few days, again, trying to continue the consultations. Of course, as you can imagine, this is not a normal conversation. This is a conversation that involves nuclear technical people, that involves the political side, the diplomats, and involves the military. So it's a big table with many people, with different concrete interests at a time of war. So you can imagine the complexity of exchanging ideas, making these ideas compatible with the different objectives of these sectors multiplied by 2, because it's Ukraine, it's Russia. So it is not an easy task, but it's the thing to do, frankly, is what we need to do.
And if it doesn't happen, what is the real risk here? What is the worst case scenario?
Listen, I said a few days ago at one of the meetings at the IAEA here in Vienna that we are rolling the dice. We've been lucky so far. So it may well be that this conflict, as we all want, this war, as we all want, comes to an end and nothing happened. That would be by sheer luck. But it may also be that we have a nuclear accident. It is very probable. The plant has been attacked more than once. The plant has been in blackout more than once. What else do we need to know to come to the conclusion that we have to do something? Who are we going to blame if there is a nuclear accident and we never agreed to establish some protection for it? So I believe that we all need to focus on the problems that may arise out of this. A nuclear accident will spare no one, will respect no border, so it is in no one's interest.
Director General Grossi, I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate very much you making the time for this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.